Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you live from the council chambers at the historic Metro Courthouse. This broadcast is a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 48th business meeting of a four-year term. This is the 18th council meeting of 2021. Tonight's council agenda is 25 pages long, involving 65 pieces of legislation. The agenda also includes a council debate on a proposed rule change, public comment period, and 2 resolutions on public hearing. There are also 21 regular resolutions, 9 first reading bills, 19 second reading pieces of legislation, and 11 ordinances on third and final reading. There are 9 appointments or reappointments to various city boards and commissions up tonight, following members and positions on the city's auditorium and tourism and convention commissions, as well as 3 positions on Nashville Industrial Development Board. Due to the continuing high number and spread of COVID-19 infections with the Delta variant, Metro Health Department has reinstated a mask mandate in all city-owned buildings, so everyone here tonight will be wearing masks. One of the most significant pieces of legislation up tonight concerns reinstating a mask mandate in all public spaces in Nashville. The council at its last meeting passed a memorializing resolution asking the Board of Health to impose such a mandate, but late last week the board, through its director, declined to do that, at least for now. Dr. Gilwright says getting everybody vaccinated is the best way to fight COVID-19. The bill 2021-872, requiring wearing a mask in all public places, remains on second reading before the council tonight. It is unclear if the council can pass or wants to pass a mask mandate without support of the Board of Health. If it is passed, the bill will impose a $50 fine for any violations. Another area of ongoing controversy before the council tonight is the regulation of tourist transportation vehicles downtown. Despite a state law that seems to prohibit local regulation, one bill on second reading before the council tonight, BL 2021-866, will prohibit the possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages while the vehicles are in operation. Another bill on first reading, BL 2021-911, has 19 sponsors. It would call for a more comprehensive makeover of the city's oversight of tourist vehicles. That also includes not only a ban of alcoholic drinks, but also an overhaul of the city board that oversees these vehicles and its regulations. Will the council approve both bills tonight or defer the one on second reading to consider both bills tonight in 2 weeks? It appears that based on committee action that's exactly what they'll do, defer both bills, pass the bill on first reading, defer the bill on second reading, have them both come up before the council at the same time in 2 weeks. Little resolutions among the council tonight. RS 2021-1125 will authorize a cost and feasibility study for Metro to take over maintenance of all state routes in Davidson County, including litter pickup and grass mowing. Supporters believe this will better streamline services. Another study before the council tonight is RS 2021-1145 would accept a $50,000 grant from the Community Foundation. The funds would allow the group David Gardner and Associates to develop recommendations on a feasibility climate change restraints the Metro can implement within its operating and capital budget limitations. Under 2 resolutions, RS 2021-1147 and RS 2021-1148, the council approved $1.3 billion in water sewer revenue bonds to fund future capital projects and improvements to the city's service. The interest on those bonds would be up to a maximum of 7.25, which is allowed under state law. Under other resolutions, the council will approve over $7.8 million in American Rescue Funds, including $4.7 million for the fire department to purchase light vehicles and equipment, and $3.1 million for the city's Office of Family Safety to address increased demand for therapy and other services for victims of abuse, human trafficking, and interpersonal violence. The council will also likely approve RS 2021-1151 and RS 2021-1158, including $100,000 for the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department's Internet Crimes Against Children unit to prepare and respond to the coronavirus, and $375,000 plus a local match of $112,000 for a port security grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for equipment to enhance current land-based and maritime response capabilities of the city's emergency management agency. Council will also honor through memorializing resolutions tonight the memory of local civil rights icon Rip Patton and longtime Nashville radio and media personality Connie Dickerson. Upon his retirement, the council tonight will also honor Judge Bill Higgins for his 50 years of public service, including being a former member of this body of the council before going on the General Sessions bench. The council will also recognize Vanderbilt Associate Head Coach Josie Ernest Barnes, who for winning the U.S. Open's women bowling nationally, and also recognize Hispanic Culture Month here in Nashville. On third and final reading, watch for zoning bill RS 2021-811 involving property on Morrow Road in West Nashville. The proposal is disapproved by the Planning Commission, so it will take a supermajority or 21 votes in the council here for final approval tonight. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda and staff analysis online. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website, in the Legislative Information Center. I'll also be placing the bill numbers on the screen when they come up for consideration, so you can follow up and keep along with what's going on with the meeting agenda. By the way, you have just learned that Mayor John Cooper will also be addressing the council tonight. We do not know what his topic is, but it should come up pretty early in the meeting. Let's go now to Vice Mayor Jim Schulman. He'll be gaveling tonight's council meeting in order shortly.
Let's get this thing going. So will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, September the 21st, 2021. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation this evening will be offered by Reverend Kelly Miller Smith, Jr., pastor of the First Baptist Church of Capitol Hill. He is a guest of Councilmember Quante Toombs.
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, we are so grateful for all of your blessings and for the opportunity for these who have gathered here in this room to share in their own civic responsibilities. We're grateful, Lord, that the people have chosen them. The people have chosen them not because of the fact that they are just nice people, but they've been chosen because they believe that they're going to represent not only them well, but represent the city well. We pray, Lord, that at this moment that we have where we're offering this prayer, that it's not something that is done simply out of a formality because of the fact it's a part of the order of the day, but because there is a genuine and sincere desire to call upon you and to call upon your name, to speak to the minds, the hearts, and the spirits of those who are gathered here in this room, so that whatever they say, whatever they do is not simply because of their own agenda or even the agenda of a few, but agenda that's going to serve the people of this community. We place that trust within you, Lord, that you would do it with them and that you would speak to them in the ways that are necessary. And I ask, Lord, that on this day, that you would guide them in such a way that will give honor and glory to your name. And however they choose to trust in you, whatever way, whatever faith or tradition they may have, that they call upon you as you speak to their hearts and their spirits. Continue, Lord, to grant us all your grace. For it is in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of those members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from September 7th? I've got a motion properly seconded. Without objection, the minutes of the meeting stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, there she is back here. Are there any messages from the mayor besides the fact that he is here? All right, pursuant to Rule 30, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Nashville and Davidson County, the Honorable John Cooper.
Honor to be here and introduce our new Dr. Troy White. Now, we conducted a national search for MDHA's new director. We looked for the best leader to take on this essential work. We did have 4 outstanding finalists, and after several rounds of virtual interviews and in-person interviews with myself and the MDHA board and a task force of council members and community stakeholders and advocates, Dr. White emerged as the very clear choice. Now at MDHA, he's going to be the director responsible for 354 employees serving more than 13,000 families in Nashville. And that agency, MDHA, owns and manages more than 6,500 affordable units, but it also serves 7,000 more households through the Section 8 vouchers program. And through HUD's Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, MDHA now owns land valued at over $1 billion across 500 acres of property in Nashville. MDHA oversees 29 pilot programs that have resulted, with your help, more than 3,300 apartments, and another 2,700 are in the pipeline that will remain affordable for up to 30 years. Casey Place is Nashville's largest subsidized housing complex, and so far we've completed and opened 20% of the 2,700 planned units there. But there is still $400 million of construction left to be built and financed, just at Casey alone. Housing must be a priority for MDHA, and I know that's a priority that we all share. Now, Dr. White's career, which is more than 20 years so far, has taken him to public housing agencies in several spots across the United States. He was the chief operating officer of the housing authorities in both Atlanta and Charlotte. And Atlanta's authority serves 50,000 residents. It's one of the nation's largest, and Charlotte's serves over 26,000. Dr. White has also worked in the private sector. So his experience, his skills, and his expertise are a great fit for Nashville, but so are his principles. He believes in the transformational power of affordable housing. He has already moved into public housing at Kirkpatrick Place, one of our newest developments at Casey Place. He's going to be a constituent of Councilman Withers. And Dr. White knows that affordable housing is a pathway for powerful change, and we are happy that he's here. My gratitude to Chair Purcell and the MDHA board and everybody that participated in the search process. Dr. White's just going to be an important part of getting Nashville right in the years ahead, and please, I just wanted him to spend a moment with you all as we start out in this journey together of creating more units for affordable housing in Nashville, and he is going to be our captain in that struggle. Thank you all very much.
Dr. White, you are recognized.
I'd like to thank the mayor for his kind introduction and let everyone know that I am excited to be here in this room at this time on this day. During my interview process and since I've assumed the role, 2 weeks ago, today is day 11, I have to keep reminding myself that it is day 11, Mayor Cooper has been very clear that improving and increasing housing opportunities for Nashvillians is one of his key priorities. I look forward to working with Mayor Cooper, his team, and with Metro Council to develop innovative solutions to address housing and development needs in Nashville. I would like to thank the board of MDHA. And Chairman Purcell is here today with me, and I want to send a special gratitude to Chairman Purcell for having the confidence in me to serve our residents and the city. I would also like to say a special thanks to Dr. Cynthia Kroom, the Executive Director of Metro Action Commission, who so greatly helped the MDHA board with the search process. MDHA is working directly with Metro Action Commission to give much needed rental assistance to Nashville citizens through their HOPE program. The staff at MDHA are working tirelessly with the residents to access these resources. MDHA has a continued eviction moratorium and has not evicted any residents for non-payment of rent during the pandemic. And we will keep that in place, thanks to Dr. Kroom. As you may know, MDHA provides affordable housing and services for more than 30,000 people across Nashville. MDHA has an exceptional team of professionals who work diligently every day to serve Nashville, and I am honored to lead this team. I had the pleasure of meeting the Vice Mayor and several of you at the 9/11 memorial hosted by the council, as well as the citywide memorial, and I look forward to meeting each of you in the days and weeks to come. I also look forward to the new beginning at MDHA, to build partnerships and work with the Metro Council, its members, and committees on critical housing needs. Thank you again, Mayor Cooper, and members of the Metro Council for welcoming me here tonight. It really does feel like I am home. Thank you.
Elizabeth, do you need to get back up front? Okay. So while we're waiting for some things to be moved, former Mayor Bill Purcell, he just left, but we wanted to welcome him. And I see in the back former Councilmember Ludi Wallace is here. Councilmember Wallace, if you'll stand up. Before we get into kind of running through a couple things, actually several things before we get into the agenda, I've heard that we have a kind of a slight error on some timing. Councilmember Hurt, I'm coming to you. Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I certainly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to bring forth resolution RS 2021-1164, recognizing Coach Josie Ernest Barnes, bowling coach at Vanderbilt University, and our U.S. champion.
All right, so it's my understanding that the confusion is that Josie Barnes is here, is that correct?
She is here with her family.
All right, so I think what we're going to do, if it's okay with the council, is go ahead and take this resolution up and then recognize Ms. Barnes in the back, if that's okay. Is there, Councilmember Hurt, is that what we want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any objection to that? I think the mix-up was that we typically do presentations later, but we happen to have Josie Barnes here. So the idea was not to have her come back. Go ahead and take care of it right now.
Thank you so kindly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so kind, but any objection from the members of the council? Seeing none, we are on RS 2021-1164. Excuse me. It's item 23 on your agenda. It's a resolution congratulating Vanderbilt University Associate Head Coach Josie Ernest Barnes on winning the U.S. Women's Open bowling. It's sponsored by Councilmember Hurt, Virtua Rutherford, and a host of other people. Councilmember Hurt, you are recognized on your resolution.
Yes, I move for approval.
All right, let's get a Rules Committee report. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. We voted 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, now, Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
I'm just off today. I move for approval.
That's okay. So Councilmember Hurt has moved to passage of RS 2021-1164, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. Councilmember Hurt, you're on.
Yes, I would like to present this resolution, and I know there were several who signed on, but I also heard that there are others who wanted to sign on. So could you all join me in the back so we can present this to this outstanding athlete?
Ms. Barnes, you want to come up front? There you are. Ms. Barnes, you're getting special treatment because you came, okay?
Thank you all so much. This is a resolution recognizing and honoring Coach Josie Ernest Barnes of Vanderbilt University. A resolution congratulating Vanderbilt University Associate Head Coach Josie Ernest Barnes on winning the U.S. Women's Open in bowling. Whereas on August 31st, 2021, Josie Ernest Barnes won the U.S. Women's Open in bowling in Rohnert Park, California, winning $100,000, the largest first-place check in women's bowling history, and
whereas Barnes earned the iconic green jacket for winning her first major on the Professional Women's Bowling Association PWBA Tour, beating Singapore's Cherry 10, 198 to 194, and
whereas Barnes grew up in rural Illinois and was a toddler when her parents opened a bowling center, which put her on the fast track to a successful bowling career. And whereas at the age of 12, Barnes beat bowlers 6 to 10 years older than her to finish in the top 5 in a state tournament. And
whereas during her freshman year at Vanderbilt, Barnes helped lead the Commodores to their first national team title in any sport and was named tournament MVP. And whereas
she was a 4-time All-American and the first bowler to win NCAA Player of the Year twice, and whereas Barnes' bowling career as a student earned her a place in the Vanderbilt Athletics Hall of Fame, and
whereas Barnes has won junior, NCAA, and Professional Women's Bowling Association championships throughout her career, including the 2016 Rochester Open, the 2018 East Hartford Open, and the 2019 Greater Cleveland Open. And
whereas Barnes is a 9-time member of Team USA, including the current team, and was a 5-time member of the Junior Team USA, and whereas Barnes is equally focused on winning more tournaments while expanding the sport's popularity through college programs like Vanderbilt's, explaining that it allows girls the opportunity to get an education while getting to compete at the highest level, and
whereas it is fitting and proper that the Metropolitan Council recognizes and congratulates Josie Barnes for winning her first major on the Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour.
Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, the Metropolitan Council hereby goes on record as congratulating Vanderbilt University Associate Head Coach Josie Ernest Barnes on winning the U.S. Women's Open in bowling. This resolution shall take effect from and after its adoption, the welfare of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County requiring it.
We're so happy to be joined by Coach Barnes and her husband, her family, and also the Associate Vice Chancellor, or Assistant Vice Chancellor, I'm giving you a promotion, Alfred DeGraven-Reed, who's with us today from Vanderbilt as well. Please, have a word.
Nashville has been my home since I came here as a freshman on the bowling team in 2006, and I could not be more proud to represent my university and this city. And I could not more humbly appreciate this city's support. Thank you.
Well, it's my understanding, Vice Mayor, that the entire council has agreed to sign on this legislation. So we're going to have this reprinted with all of the signatures for you, and I will personally hand deliver it to you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And here's a 100,000 grand prize. So next time you got to be on How to Be a Millionaire. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, council member. Without objection, everybody who voted in favor of that resolution, we signed on as a prime sponsor. Okay, we're going to move on through a couple of items that I need to go through. So first of all, I think we should congratulate our own council member, Zulfat Sawara, who is being honored as a 2021 Academy for Women of Achievement honoree. Congratulations. I believe that event has been moved to next spring, but congratulations. And congratulations to a rainy yet successful Pride event this past weekend that I know many of our council members were involved with as well. Next time, plan it on a weekend where it doesn't flood. I will also say this is the last council meeting for the chairs that have served during the second year of this council term. I want to thank you for your service. Please join me in thanking them. Did a good job. All right, so next year's chairs will be named before the next meeting. I will say because of the council's actions regarding the change in the committee structure, there's going to have to be some rearranging of the committee makeup since there are 3 less committees. Some committees got merged, and some are new committees, so we're trying to figure out how to make all this stuff work. We'll say because there are fewer committees, also going to try to make them not so large. When we were going back and looking at it, I believe planning, and this is my fault, had almost half the council on it. So we're going to go back and try to take care of that. And just please remember that there are now fewer committees to serve on. We went from 14 to 11. All right, so we'll be working on that as well. But all that will be announced before the next meeting. Council is responsible for electing persons from its own membership to serve in various positions of leadership and on certain boards and commissions. We've talked about that. You should have received a letter from me including those elections. I'm going to go through those again just to make sure that you all understand. The council will elect a fellow council member to serve as representative on the Planning Commission and who will also serve as chair of the Planning and Zoning Committee. Pursuant to the Metro Charter, member of the council selected to serve as a member of the Planning Commission shall also be the chairman of the Planning Committee and shall serve for a term of 2 years. Nominations will be taken. The vote will be held at the next meeting, October the 5th, 2021, in accordance with Rule 48. Council will elect a fellow council member to serve as a representative on the Traffic and Parking Commission. Term of the council representative on the Traffic and Parking Commission will also be 2 years. Nominations will then be taken and the vote will be held at the same meeting, October the 5th, 2021, also in accordance with Rule 48. This was a little different in the sense that in the past, person elected would also serve as the chair of the council's Traffic and Parking Committee. We don't have a Traffic and Parking Committee anymore. That was taken away. There's no charter requirement on this one. So anyone can run for the position on Traffic and Parking, but they do not automatically serve as chair of a committee because the committee that we used to put them in charge of is no longer there. Council will elect 2 members to serve on the Metro Audit Committee. Requirements for a council-appointed representative of this committee is set forth also in the charter. Terms of the Metro Audit Committee is 2 years. Nominations will be taken. The vote will be held also at October 5th, 2021, in accordance with Rule 48. Be prepared to come and be ready to vote on these things. A couple other things. Council members. These are more internal. 4 council members will serve as members of the Greenway and Open Space Commission for a 2-year term. 3 members will be selected by our new Public Facilities, Arts, and Culture Committee from the membership of that committee. The remaining member is selected by the Vice Mayor. 2 council members will serve on the Metropolitan Action Commission. Each member will serve a 2-year term. 1 member is elected by the Human Services Committee. That's also a newly named committee from the membership of that committee. And 1 member is elected by the Government Operations and Regulations Committee, also a new committee, so remember that. We'll make sure that everybody understands. 1 council member will serve on the Metropolitan Safety Advisory Board. Member will serve a 2-year term. Public Health and Safety Committee, also a newly named committee, will elect 1 member to serve on that board. In addition, the Vice Mayor gets to select members to serve on the following authorities: the Metropolitan Housing Trust Fund Commission. That's 1 council member who will be appointed to the commission, again, by the Vice Mayor for a 2-year term. And Greenway and Open Space Commission, 1 at-large council member selected by the Vice Mayor for a 2-year term on that. That's a lot of information. I would encourage you to take a look at the letter that was sent out, see what you're interested in doing. If you're interested in serving on any of the boards that, in terms of the last several that I mentioned that the Vice Mayor picks, let me know. Or if you wish to nominate somebody, that's fine as well. You should have also received a memorandum from me about a vacancy on the Procurement Standards Board of the Metropolitan Government. That is also filled by the Metropolitan Council. This is a new member of the Procurement Standards Board. Member will serve a term of 3 years. Individual chosen must not be an employee or elected official of the Metropolitan Government. That's filled pursuant to Rule 50. The time frame is as follows. We'll be calling on members of the council to make nominations at the next regular council meeting. Nominees will be notified. They'll need to show up on October the 19th, 2021 through the Rules Committee, and there'll be an election to fill that seat at the council meeting on that evening. Did I get them all? It's a lot of stuff. Just be ready for the next meeting. One last thing. It is my understanding, and I know that Councilmember Murphy is not here, but I know that a number of people have been working diligently on the city's redistricting process concerning council districts. Just as a reminder, please remember this happens every 10 years. There's not a lot of people who are on this body who have been through that. I have, I think Councilmember Allen has, Councilmember Glover has, but it happens the same way every 10 years. It has to be done. It's a routine process. The Planning Department expects to release draft maps within the next 2 weeks, which will kick off a month of public review. There will be opportunities for you and your constituents to meet with the planning staff, discuss what works and what doesn't in the draft maps. If you have concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to the Planning Department. Your contacts there are both Greg Claxton or Lucy Kemp, the director, okay? So you have a chance to discuss what you're concerned about. And just so that you know, we went back and double-checked. The next council elections will be about 1.5 years after we adopt the new maps. It's going to be a while before we adopt that. As in the past, you don't switch the districts. You'll continue to represent the districts that elected you until the next election. So you don't move to something new. You stay with the district that you've got until the next election. Again, you don't switch to the new district until the next election is held, okay? Any questions about that? If you have any questions, obviously Ms. Milligan is here. You can talk to Lucy Kemp. You can talk to Greg Claxton, and they can help you with that. Okay, so that was a lot of information. Go ahead and take a look at the information we sent out. That should be helpful to everybody. We're now ready to proceed to elections and confirmations. Councilmember Johnston, is there a report from the Rules Committee?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We considered several appointments. I do have a consent agenda for the Auditorium Commission, the reappointment of Mr. Blake McDaniel for a term expiring June 30th, 2024. For the Tourism and Convention Commission, the reappointment of Mr. Hank Lachlan for a term expiring June 30th, 2024, and the appointment of Mr. Q. Juan Taylor for a term expiring June 30th, 2024, as well as some late appointments for the Metropolitan Board of Equalization, the appointment of Dr. Truett Ellis for a term expiring on April 1st, 2022, and the same term for Ms. Sherilyn Pettis. We voted 5 in favor, 0 against for all of those, and I would move their approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Johnston, for the purposes of making, because the late filed appointments have to be
considered separately.
Suspend the rules, so
Oh,
let's
okay.
keep them separate.
Okay.
So the first motion would be for the reappointment of Mr. Blake McDaniel, reappointment of Mr. Hank Lachlan for the Tourist and Convention Commission, and the appointment of Mr. Q1 Taylor for Tourism and Convention as well. Those are the three, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
sir. Sorry.
So got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion on those three appointments or reappointments? Seeing none, all those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That motion is adopted. So let's thank Mr. Blake McDaniel. Are you here, Mr. McDaniel? All right, so he was smart and got out of here. All right. Mr. Hank Lachlan. Mr. Lachlan, you here? Mr. Q. Taylor, are you here? There he is, Mr. Taylor. All right, Mr. Taylor, thank you for agreeing to serve. We appreciate your time and commitment. And if you will tell the other two what a great standing ovation you got, we'd appreciate that, okay? Okay, Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized on the two late appointments.
Do you want me to do the deferrals of the regular first?
Okay, go ahead and do the
I'm
deferrals.
sorry.
Okay.
So we had 2 deferrals for both for the Auditorium Commission for terms expiring June 30th, 2024, Mr. Fletcher Foster and Mr. Jerry Pentecost. So I would move that deferral.
Okay, got a motion to defer those two appointments, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion goes to the next committee meeting, or the next council meeting.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. And do you have one more? It looks like Ms. Lisa Leclerc on Tourism and Convention.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Lisa Leclerc for Tourism Convention Commission, 1 meeting deferral.
Okay, that's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That is adopted as well, so that will be heard at the next council meeting as well. I think that takes care of those. Let's go ahead and get that, and then we'll come back to the nominations for the Industrial Development Board.
So I need to suspend the rules for the late appointments for the Metropolitan Board of Equalization.
Yeah, so what has happened, actually I go to Director Zeitlin. These are 2 late appointments to the Board of Equalization. Director Zeitlin?
So the rule that needs to be suspended is Rule 23 regarding confirmations and questionnaires, since the questionnaires weren't received in accordance with the rule.
And this is some more appointments for the Board of Equalization coming out of the assessor property.
Correct.
They need the assistance, and they came in late. Is there objection to suspension of the rules to get this heard tonight? No objection. We're on your motion with these 2 late filed applicants.
Thank you. For both Dr. Truett Ellis and for Ms. Sherilyn Pettis, we voted 5 in favor, 0 against, and I would move their approval.
Okay, you've heard the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of those 2 late filed appointments say aye. Opposed, no. That motion is adopted. Dr. Ellis or Ms. Pettis, are you here? If you all would stand up, and so we can thank you appropriately. Thank you. And you all are welcome to stay and watch what we're going to do next, okay? All right, so we're now back on E4, which is on page 1 of my agenda, Industrial Development Board. As we had indicated before, we're taking nominations to fill 3 vacancies for terms expiring August 23rd, 2027. We have 3 vacancies, so the floor is open for nominations from members of the council. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Joshua Heston.
Okay, let's make sure we got that. Joshua, and last name?
Heston.
Haston?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Brian Cordova.
Okay, Brian Cordova.
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to nominate Quinn Evans Segal.
Got it. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Suara.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Amir El Husseini.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Okay. Okay, anybody else with a nomination? Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Mr. Nigel Hodge.
Okay. Okay, any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, we've got all 5? 5 nominations from the council. All right, so the what we'll be doing is we'll be getting information out to the council members, to the people who have been nominated, and the process will be they will be coming in at which meeting?
They'll be coming in at the next meeting, the October 5th meeting.
Okay, all right.
Go to Rules Committee, and then will be voted on the floor that night.
Okay, we're going to be voting quite a bit. I just want to make sure I had that date right. I hadn't looked at that one.
What's that?
All right, so come prepared. We're going to be voting on lots of things that night. Okay. All right, I think that takes care of it. Councilmember Johnston, do we have anything left from the Rules Committee?
There's a proposed rule amendment.
Okay, that's right. All right, so Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized on the proposed rules amendment.
Thank you. I'd like to move for a 1-meeting deferral with a brief explanation.
All right, there's a motion to defer 1 meeting, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. The rule change would give the ability for a deputy director in finance to sign off on appropriations and verification of funds when we don't have someone named. We had this issue a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm deferring for 1 meeting in order to get a formal opinion from Metro Legal so that we can jive the language with the charter. And we're just doing some housekeeping stuff on that. So I would move the 1-meeting deferral, please.
All right, so the request has been to defer this 1 meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the 1-meeting deferral say aye. Opposed, no. This thing will be deferred 1 meeting. All right, so the next part is we have people come in for public comment. This happens to be the 2nd meeting of the month. We do not believe anybody signed up for that, but we just wanted to be sure. Did anybody in the back sign up for a public comment period tonight? We expect honesty. No one raises their hand. So again, for those people listening to us, you can sign up to participate in a public comment period on our 2nd meeting of the month. First meeting is typically reserved for public hearings on zoning measures. But on the 2nd meeting, if you're interested in speaking to the council, we reserve 30 minutes for people to sign up in advance to come and talk to us about certain things. You are welcome to do that, But again, we have no one up here tonight, so we will move on. So we are on resolutions on public hearing. So that's on page 2 of the calendar. We have 2 measures up tonight. So here's how that works. Call up the resolutions one at a time, refer to the sponsor. Unless the sponsor defers the public hearing, in this case, it's the same sponsor. Sponsor will call for a public hearing, ask for a show of hands of those who are here in favor of the resolution. Then I'll ask for a show of those who are in opposition to the resolution. If anyone in favor wishes to speak, come on up, go to that back microphone, introduce yourself, give us your address. You'll have 2 minutes in which to speak. Then ask if anybody opposed wishes to speak on the resolution. After that, you'll hear me close the public hearing, and I'll refer back to the sponsor. So we are ready for the first measure. It is RS 2021-1143 by Councilmember Sledge. It is a resolution exempting Emery Wood Fired, located at 2500 12th Avenue South, from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember Sledge, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. It's been a while. Do I need to get a committee report?
Yeah, you got public safety. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public safety recommended approval, 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, back to you, Councilmember Sledge.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. A show of hands of those who are here in favor of this resolution. I see a lady waving her hand nicely over on the right side. There she goes. Show of hands of those, of anybody here in opposition to the resolution. I don't see any hands in opposition. Ma'am, you seem so excited. Do you want to come up and speak in favor? Well, you can come up and talk if you'd like. All right.
I'll invite you, Vice Mayor, and everybody to come eat at our restaurant whenever y'all can. Call me. I'll get your reservation. We're booked out, so.
All right. I need your name and your address. And address for the restaurant. Name and address.
It's literally on the big screen.
Yeah, it's on the big screen. I'm Sasha Quackenbush, and then if you want to find me on Instagram, I will also be open. If you guys actually email everybody, even back here, info@emerynashville.com, and just say that you were here tonight, and I'll get you a reservation. But, thanks, guys. I'm so glad this worked out. Thank you.
After that, does anybody wish to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Sledge, did you not tell her exactly what she was supposed to do? No, okay. So,
I believe the office called today. Regardless, I don't think enthusiasm for beer and pizza can be measured. So with that, I'll move approval. Please.
Okay, so Councilmember Sledge has moved for approval tonight, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. I don't know who yelled it, but I think it was you in the back. All right, so the resolution passes. RS 2021-1143 passes tonight. And now we're on RS 2021-1144 by Councilmember Sledge. This is a resolution exempting Fayette La Force Brewing Company, located at 1414 3rd Avenue South, number 101, from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized again.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee report, please.
All right, Public Safety, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public safety recommended approval, 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember Sledge.
I request that you open the public hearing.
Okay,
please.
declare the public hearing open. A show of hands of those who are here in favor of the resolution. Show of hands of anybody here in opposition to the resolution. I see nobody either way, so declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move approval.
Motion to approve properly seconded. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. So we are now on consent resolutions, and your pro tem is going to handle this. So I'm going to get off.
All right, resolutions on consent. These are the resolutions currently on the consent agenda. They are RS 2021-1145, 1146, 1147, 1148, 1149, 1150, 1152, 1153, 1154, 1155, 1156, 1157, 1158, 1159, 1160, 1161, and 1162. Does anybody need to pull anything off of consent? Councilmember O'Connell?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I'd like to pull item 4, which is 1145, and item 12, which is 1153. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Anybody else? Councilmember Suara? 1161. Okay. Freddie was 45 and 53. So that's 1145, 1153, and 1161. Any others? All right. RS 2021-1145 approves an in-kind grant from the Community Foundation of... It was, good start. 1146 appropriates $80,000 from juvenile court to the Find Design, a nonprofit organization selected to receive community partnership fund grants. 1147 authorizes the issuance and sale of water and sewer revenue bonds in an You want to pull that one? Which one's Councilmember Verscher?
7 and 48.
40. Okay, 47 and 48. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. RS 2021-1149, Toombs, Van Rees, and Welsh approves an American Rescue Plan grant from the National Endowment for the Arts to the Metro Nashville Arts Commission to promote arts grants to organizations and individuals. RS 2021-1150, Gamble, Johnston, and Toombs appropriates $4,745,500 in American Rescue Plan Act funds to the Nashville Fire Department to be used for light fleet vehicles and equipment. RS 2021-1152, Johnston and Gamble appropriates $3,148,980 in American Recovery Plan Act funds to the Office of Family Safety to be used to address increased demand for therapy and services for victims of abuse, human trafficking, and interpersonal violence. RS 2021-1154, Toombs, Gamble, and Welsh approves a coronavirus emergency supplemental funding grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metro Nashville Police Department's Internet Crimes Against Children Unit to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus. RS 2021-1155 approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metro Board of Health for the Healthy Start Home Visiting Program to identify and provide comprehensive services to improve outcomes for eligible families who are part of at-risk communities. RS 2021-1156 approves a grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the Metro Social Services Commission to fund staffing of the Homeless Management Information System. RS 2021-1157, Toombs, Taylor, and Welsh approves an assignment and assumption grant agreement amendment from Safe Haven Family Shelter and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the Metro Social Services Department for support services and administrative costs to strengthen and improve the effectiveness of the program. RS 2021-1158, Toombs, Nash, Allen, and Welsh, approves a federal COVID relief funds for transportation improvements grant from the Greater Nashville Regional Council to the Metro Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure for pedestrian safety and multimodal intersection improvements. RS 2021-1159 by Toombs authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Christy Copeland against Metro government in the amount of $193,000. RS 2021-1160 by Toombs authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of the Waste Management River Hills Recycling Center against Metro government in the amount of $45,173.35. And RS 2021-1162 by Stiles, Swara, Toombs, Gamble, and Vercher honors the life of Connie Danelle Cato Dickerson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Committee reports, please, starting with Budget and Finance. Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval of Resolution 2021-1146, 1149, 1150, 1152, 1154, 1155, 1156, 1157, 1158, and 1159, 10-4-0 against. Was 1160 on there?
Yeah, 1160 still on?
Budget and Finance, it's on consent or not?
Yes.
Okay. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval of Resolution 2021-1160, 9-4-0 against.
Thank you. Health, Hospital, Social Services, Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Health hospitals and Health Hospitals and Social Services took up RS 2021, 1155, 1156, 7 in favor, 0 against, and 1157, 6 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Parks, Library, and Arts, Councilmember Van Rees.
Yes, the committee met on Resolution 1149 and voted 4 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember. Public Safety, Beer, and Regulated Beverages, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Public Safety recommended approval for 1150, 1151, 8 in favor, 0 against, 1152, 10 in favor, 0 against, 1153, and 1154, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember. Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Public Works took up RS 2021-1158 and recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember. Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections, Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you. We considered 2021-1161, and we voted 5 in favor, 0 against. I think I'm last. I'd move the approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? You adopt the consent agenda.
Okay. Now comes the fun part, because I got to figure out what still remains. Do you have a list? Yeah. All right. All right. Can you tell me which one is it? Okay, item 3, RS 2021-1125 was either bumped or not on consent. It's by Council Members Nash and Bradford. It's a resolution requesting the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure, INDOT, to conduct a study to determine the feasibility and cost of contracting with the state of Tennessee to allow for INDOT to maintain state routes in Davidson County. Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
I will give you the committee report. Public Works took this up and recommended a 1 meeting deferral, 4 in favor, 3 against, and I would move the 1 meeting deferral.
Okay, so Councilmember Nash has moved for a 1 meeting deferral, properly seconded. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor of the one meeting deferral say aye. Opposed, no. This is deferred one meeting. Okay. 11:45 stayed on consent. 11:45 was bumped. RS 2021-1145 by Councilmembers Toombs, Allen, and Hancock. Resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee to the Metropolitan Government, acting through the Mayor's Office for David Gardner and Associates to help Nashville civic leaders develop recommendations of feasible climate actions within operating and capital budget constraints. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized, and your name has come off this board. That scares me. I assume you're still on the council. So just so I'll tell you, there's a whole list of, everybody has a button. Councilmember Toombs is not on here anymore. All right, so I believe you're still on the council, so you can proceed.
As far as I know. Now you've thrown me off. Committee report.
Committee reports, it is yours.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against.
All right.
Move for approval.
All right, so Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval on RS 2021-1145, properly seconded. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to follow up on the details of this one. I know the Mayor's Sustainability Advisory Committee has been active over the past year and came out with a good report, and I just wanted to check to make sure. I didn't know kind of who was funding this. I know the administration has told me the Community Foundation is directly funding it. But I just wanted to understand if this is being done sort of in concert with the Sustainability Advisory Committee, or if this is some different initiative that is being spurred from outside of Metro, and just to understand that relationship a little better. Thank you.
Mr. Jamison, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Councilman O'Connell. Yes, in fact, this was recommended by the co-chair of the Mayor's Sustainability Advisory Committee, specifically Linda Bregan. The funder is the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, but specifically through their Nashville Community Engagement Fund, and you may recognize them. They've contributed similarly to the Barnes Fund and to financial empowerment centers. Mr. Gardner is a nationally recognized environmental consultant based out of Virginia. He has formerly served in the Clinton administration as the executive director of the White House Climate Change Task Force. Before that, he was the Assistant Administrator for Policy at the EPA, and before that, he was the Sierra Club's Legislative Director in Washington, D.C. He would lend his services at no cost to Metro, but through the contributions of the Community Foundation. And his intent would be, with respect to the Sustainability Advisory Committee, they submitted a very impressive number of recommendations for improving sustainability in Nashville. The specific question before David Gardner and Associates is, assuming the city at any given point has limited resources financially, what are the 2 to 3 things that you could do? What are the priorities that you could undertake to reduce emissions with focuses on transportation, the commercial building environment, and residential buildings? And that's what Mr. Gardner would presumably deliver within, I believe, 90 days.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Jamison. That's exactly what I wanted to know. I will say, before putting down the microphone, that investing in transit is one of those top items, so I hope we can do that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Toombs, any other comments? Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval of the resolution. It's RS 2021-1145 for passage. It was properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Okay, the next item, I believe, is RS 2021-1147. I believe it was also bumped from consent. Okay, this is by Councilmember Toombs. It's a initial resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and sale of water and sewer revenue bonds. Aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $500 million of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
It is Budget and Finance. It's yours.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Councilmember Toombs moves for approval, properly second to discussion. Councilmember Vercher, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. I ask for this to be pulled off consent just for the body and for the general public, because this is a huge bond issuance. If someone from the administration, or maybe Hannah, just for the viewing audience, can give us a brief overview of this issuance and sale, negotiated,
Okay,
competitive, et cetera.
I'm going to go to the administration. Mr. Jameson.
If we can recognize Tom Edelman.
Mr. Edelman, you're recognized.
This first legislation, 1147, is actually an initial bond authorization, which the council is required to approve before spending of any more capital on these projects. So this is not an actual bond issue resolution. It's approval for authorization to spend money that will be bonded in the future. So this one is separate from the second resolution, but it has to happen before spending can take place.
Councilmember Vercher.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. He answered both on the same.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted the body to not be blindly voting on this on a consent. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Vercher. Any other comments from anyone? We're on RS 2021-1147. This is water and sewer revenue bonds. Seeing nobody else in the queue, we've got a motion to pass. It was seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt 1147, passes. We're on RS 2021-1148 by Councilmember Toombs. This is a resolution supplementing substitute resolution number RS 2010-1442. Authorize the execution, terms, issuance, sale, and payment of water and sewer revenue bonds. Aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $780 million. Authorizing the use of available funds of the Metropolitan Government's Water and Sewer Department to defease the Metropolitan Government's remaining outstanding subordinate lien water sewer revenue refunding bond series 2012. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Again, it's budget and finance. It's yours.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against. Move for approval.
Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval, properly seconded. Councilmember Saguaro, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm actually glad it got pulled. I wasn't able to be in the budget yesterday, so I had a couple of questions. I don't know if someone from Water or the administration can address some of the questions that I have. Looking at the details, it appears as if our outstanding bond is going to basically double. It's, I think it's about 700 even after refinancing or paying off the 2013. We're looking at about 1.5 million in outstanding bonds. And I just wanted to ask, is the increase due to the consent decree, or why are we almost 50% increase at this time?
Who's got that one? Okay. Administration.
Hi, Council Member. This is Michelle Bosch. I'm the Treasury Department. Yes, you're absolutely right. It is in relation to the consent decree spending. The Water and Sewer Department has a capital spending plan that has 3 major projects on it and totaling a little bit over $1.6 billion.
So I get that, and thank you, and I figure maybe that could be part of it. But one of the things that we talk about, I do remember during budget hearing, was that there is accumulation of fund balance in the water and sewage account that at the time I was told some of them would be used for capital improvement. So my question is, before we went and got this much bond, did we actually look at the capital that we have, and have we used those for capital projects before doing the bonds?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you're right, there is a balance that we are planning to use to pay down some of the expenses of the projects. The largest project of which will be about $600 million. And we are forecasted to start using some of the cash in addition to debt to pay for that larger project. Having said that, the cash balance makes a great impact on the credit rating, and the credit rating has a large impact on the cost of debt. And so it was recommended by myself to get the debt first, because we have a nice debt coverage ratio that makes the department look like we can afford the debt. And so that allows us to get reaffirmed our credit ratings from AA2 and AA, and we're expecting to have great rates as a result of that. But the cash balance will eventually come back down after we start with the larger project.
Okay. My other question in looking at the bond document as well is that the payment, annual payment, is now going to go from 55 million to about 88 million, right? I know that there's fund balance and this is not property taxes, it's water and all of that. I get that. But are we sure that this will not lead to an increase in water rates down the road in the next year or two? Because we're talking about a 30 million increase in payments.
You can proceed.
So there is a plan on the water rate structure to increase rates over the next 4.5 years. And thereafter, it's going to go on CPI. So there is a plan to increase, but that's, again, to help fund a lot of what's going on now.
But then is it immediately that we're going to see that because of that 30 million, or is it down the road?
No, so it's planned now that every year on January we'll have that increase.
All right. Well, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we're not just getting debt just to get debt, and that we clarify that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Vircher, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. Was this a negotiated sale, or will be a negotiated sale, or was it competitive?
Hi there. This will be a negotiated sale.
My next question is, Councilwoman Swarr kind of alluded to this, and I'm going off of memory here. I believe the last time we did this, Metro Water came back with, we increased storm water fees, and then we came back and then we increased the water fees itself that went into effect January 1. So you just mentioned, and that was a 4% increase. So you said Metro Water's capital spending, their plan has rates increasing. What was that time frame again? Is it every January?
Every January for the next 4 years.
So it's going to go up again January 1, 2022.
Correct.
Another 4%?
It's somewhere between 4% and 3%, but I can get that figure for you.
Okay, is that based upon 1148 here with the debt on this issuance here?
I don't follow.
So the 4% that's going to incur, that the citizens are going to incur for next year, for 2022, that additional revenue that Metro Water is going to be getting, is that factored into what we're voting on tonight?
Factored in terms of helping to pay for the debt service?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so 4% 2022, and I know you don't have it in front of you, is going to go up again in a 4 to 5% range for 2023 as well?
No, it's between 3 and 4, but yes,
3
that's
and 4.
correct.
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Vircher. Councilmember Mendez.
Thanks. I tried to get myself in line after Councilman Glover. Well, just briefly, I had some further back and forth with finance after the meeting yesterday, and something that I think didn't come out clearly during the meeting that I think is worth knowing is, of this $780 million, $255 million is to retire the current commercial paper balance. $175 million is for one of the major projects that's new spending, the central optimization project, that's part of the consent decree. And then another $245 million is for refunding existing bonds. And that's, we heard yesterday, at a substantial savings, 13%, I think we heard, and doesn't extend the maturity date that was owed on those bonds. And then the balance is issuance cost. And so to the extent, I mean, I don't think that's been said out loud for the public yet. This is a combination of paying off existing commercial paper, paying for one of the big projects, or starting to pay for one of the big projects we're required to do under the consent decree, and getting substantial savings on another $245 million worth of bonds. That's it, Vice Mayor. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Glover, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I wasn't going to ask any more questions. I thought that my questions got answered until you just said something, and you just scared me, because you just said that it makes it, with the fund balance it makes it look like we can afford this. Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's not what you said. But now that brings pause to this, because I don't want to look like we can afford it. If we're going to do it, we need to be able to afford it. So what is our position?
That's a good question. So yes, I did say that. And so kind of in tongue-in-cheek, referencing when you need money and you go to the bank will not lend you money, right? So in the same terms, if we pull the cash balances off the debt, the water department, we'll have trouble going to market and getting good rates, because there will be doubt as to our ability to pay for that debt.
So is this tongue-in-cheek when we're talking about $780 million doesn't equate in my brain. But whenever we are doing this, did we want to keep the cash balance high in order to, I think the overall interest rate was 2.88. I think between the refunding and the other, one was 2.94 or whatever, but 2.88 was the overall. Was that the objective?
Absolutely, and it is a recommendation from the finance department.
Okay, all right. But that scares me when I hear that it makes it look like we can afford it. So I hope we're cautious whenever we're talking about, especially this kind of money going forward. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Glover. Anybody else in the queue? Anybody else wish to be heard on this one? All right, so here's where we are. We're on RS 2021-1148, sponsored by Councilmember Toombs. She has moved for passage of the resolution. Was properly seconded. Ready to vote? Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. All right, thank you. The next one is RS 2021-1151. This is item number 10 on your agenda. Councilmember Toombs and Gamble are the sponsors. A resolution accepting a port security grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Office of Emergency Management for equipment to enhance current land-based and maritime response capabilities. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Public Safety, got Councilmember Gamble.
Public Safety recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. You got the other one.
Budget and Finance recommended approval as amended, 9 for, 0 against.
All right, motion to approve.
To approve.
So I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. I've got a late filed amendment that I'd like to move to suspend the rules for consideration.
All right, so I've got a late filed amendment. Rules, did it come before rules? Councilmember Johnston?
This is for 1151.
1151.
We did. We voted on the late filed amendment, yes, and we had no objection. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnston. Councilmember Mendez has got a late filed amendment. It's in your packet. It's correcting its recital, I think, in the resolution. Any objections to suspension of the rules? Get this before us tonight. Seeing none, rules are suspended. You're on your amendment.
Thanks. I'll move the amendment with a very, very brief explanation.
All right, got a motion, a second. Back to you.
As you mentioned, it just adds a recital to clarify some discrepancy in language between the attached exhibit and the actual resolution. This provides a grant for the fire department. It just adds a resolution that the money is all for the fire department. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. So you've heard an explanation of the amendment. Councilmember Mendez has moved it, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, no. Amendment's adopted. Councilmember Toombs, you're on your resolution as amended.
Move for approval.
Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval of RS 2021-1151 as amended, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of RS 2021-1151 as amended say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Item number 12, I believe, RS 2021-1153 by Councilmember Toombs and Gamble. This is a resolution approving an application for the Edwin Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to the Metropolitan Government through the Police Department for specialized training equipment to ensure personnel maintain needed certifications for criminal investigation and crime reduction initiatives. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Public Safety, Councilmember Gamble.
Vice Safety recommended approval, 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, back to you, Councilmember Toombs. You got the other one.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10 for, 0 against. Move for approval.
I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Discussion on this one. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry, I thought I'd pressed the button, but I guess it didn't register. So I got some very helpful history on the Edward Byrne JAG program from the administration between the time of pulling this off the agenda and right now. So I've just looked at that. It's very useful information. I think it's worth a review maybe by both Budget and Finance and the Public Safety Committee. Obviously don't want to disrupt this particular cycle for the grant application, but I do think it is worth noting that over the history of the application process for this grant funding, it is federal, there is a state component, and I know we do have, it looks like, an opportunity for other departments to use this. After a federal requirement that these be multi-department grant awards lapsed several years ago, we have just been using this for one department. That's not to say that other departments aren't eligible. This is one of the rare sources of federal funding for indigent defense and the Public Defender's Office. And I guess what I'd like to do is maybe engage the administration and our Budget and Finance Committee and our Public Safety Committee to try to figure out if maybe in years forward, if there's a way to do this that doesn't necessarily short some of the training opportunities that are currently part of that funding process, but also do make sure that departments that are no longer participating, we are still on the lookout for funding sources for them and understanding more completely the contours through which that federal funding might flow. So I do just want to raise that point as we are considering this grant. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Any other discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. RS 2021-1153. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Next one we've got is we're on RS 2021-1161. That's item number 20 on your agenda. It's a resolution honoring the life of Dr. Ernest Rip Patton. Councilmember Sawara, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. Went to the Rules Committee. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. We voted 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Back to you, Councilmember Sawara.
I'd like to move for approval with a brief comment.
All right. So Councilmember Sawara has moved for the approval of the resolution, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. I pulled the resolution as a way to also give other members of council that have not signed on but would like to be able to sign on. But this resolution is honoring Dr. Patton, who is a freedom rider. What makes Dr. Patton's story very unique is that we know a lot of civil rights icons from this area, but many of them came from out of town, not necessarily from Nashville. But Dr. Patton was actually born in Nashville, went to TSU, and he recently passed away. And this resolution is just honoring his legacy. I happened to talk to Dr. Patton a few weeks before he passed away, and he was still advocating. He was still talking about transportation in Nashville and making things better in Nashville. And I think that we lost an icon and a pioneer. And this is a resolution is actually not honoring his legacy. And I ask for my colleagues that have not signed on to please consider signing on. And with that, I move for approval.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Sawara. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I accidentally missed the deadline, so I would like to request my name to be added.
Okay. So Councilmember Sawara had said, I believe that anybody voting in favor of this will be listed as a sponsor. Okay, so you'll be added on. Any other discussion on this one? Again, resolution honoring the life of Dr. Ernest Rip Patton, whereas 2021-1161. Everybody voting in the affirmative will be added as a sponsor. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Last one I've got is RS 2021-1163 by Councilmember Murphy. Resolution recognizing Judge William Higgins for his 50 years of service for Nashville and Davidson County upon the occasion of his retirement. Councilmember Murphy is not here. Did anybody pick up this resolution? Councilmember Mendez has it. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized on the resolution.
I'll ask for a committee report.
All right, rules, Councilmember Johnston?
At the request of the sponsor, we moved for a one-meeting deferral.
Okay,
5 in favor, 0 against.
Councilor Mendez?
Yeah, I don't know why Councilmember Murphy asked for the one meeting deferral, but with her not being here and her having put the letter in and that being the recommendation, I'll go along with that. So move for a one meeting deferral.
All right, Councilor Mendez has moved for one meeting deferral, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. This one is deferred one meeting. We have one late filed resolution. This is by Councilmember Sepulveda. It is in your packet, your amendment packet. It is a resolution recognizing September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month in Nashville and Davidson County. Councilmember Sepulveda, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I need to suspend the rules.
Okay, so Councilmember Sepulveda, in order to get this matter before us, needs to suspend the rules. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
We considered it and had no objection.
Okay, no objection from the Rules Committee. Any objection from members of the council? Seeing none, rules are suspended. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're on your resolution.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to speak briefly. I didn't get this submitted in time, but it was important to submit it, being this is the first meeting where we have Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from September 15th through October the 15th. It's kind of strange. We get ours started in the middle of the month, but in 1968, President Johnson created Hispanic Heritage Week, and later on it became Hispanic Heritage Month under Ronald Reagan in 1988. But I just thought it was important to highlight that we are in Hispanic Heritage Month and that we have several constituents, both with legal status and without legal status, that live in all of our districts, and they are our workers, they are our elected officials, they are business owners, CEOs, taxpayers. They have served in every American war, and I just would encourage y'all to, if there is a way for you to support the community, be it putting your money where there is a small business owner or participating in some event throughout the city, I would encourage you. And I apologize for not getting this submitted on time, but if my colleagues would like to sign on, I would also encourage you to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sepulveda. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to ask for all those voting in favor to be added to this resolution.
All right, so that will be done. Anybody else wanting to speak on the resolution? Seeing none, everybody who will be voting in favor will be listed as a sponsor. We are on RS 2021-1160, I'm sorry, doesn't have a number, RS 2021. It's a late file resolution by Councilmember Sepulveda. Again, any objection to everybody signing on? Councilor Mendez?
I don't think there's actually a motion yet.
I'm sorry. Councilmember Sepulveda, I'll come back to you to make a motion.
I'm sorry. Move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Sepulveda has moved for approval, properly seconded. Everybody's going to be listed as a sponsor. Anybody else in the queue? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. All right. We're now on bills on introduction and first reading. Any bills on here need to be considered separately? All right, seeing none, any bills, if there's no objection, we'll consider all other ordinances on first reading in one vote at this time. Seeing no objection, take a motion to approve on bills on first reading. Got a motion to approve, properly seconded. All in favor of all bills on first reading at this point, say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All bills come through. We are now on bills on second reading. We have a second reading consent agenda. Let me go through that. These are bills on the consent agenda. First one up is item number 36. It's Bill 2021-849. on consent. 871 on consent. 873 on consent. 875 on consent. 876 on consent. 877, 878. 880 is on consent. 881 on consent, 882 on consent, and 883 on consent. Okay. Anything needs to be bumped off the consent calendar? All right. Here we go through the bills on second reading consent calendar. Again, the first one is 2021-849. It's item 36. Councilmember Sledge, Murphy, Nash, and O'Connell. Ordinance to amend the GIS system street and alley centerline layer. Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning a portion of alley number 403 right-of-way from 8th Avenue South to alley number 404. Next item is BL 2021-871, Toombs, Welsh, Saguaro, and Porterfield, an ordinance establishing a program for the purpose of providing assistance to low-income elderly residents of the Metropolitan Government fiscal year 2021-2022, BL 2021-873, Young, Toombs, and others. Ordinance authorizing the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, property rights by negotiation, condemnation for use in public property projects of the Metropolitan Government, initially for purposes of the Department of Transportation and multimodal infrastructure. BL 2021-875 by Toombs, Murphy, and others. Ordinance to amend the GIS system street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government by abandoning a portion of Lincoln Street right-of-way from McKinley Street to alley number 1024. Item number 45, Sledge, Murphy, and others, BL 2021-876. Ordinance to amend the GIS system street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning alley number 442, an unnumbered alley right-of-way and easement between 17th Avenue South and 18th Avenue South. BL 2021-877 by Toombs, Nash, and Welsh. Ordinance approving a contract between the Metropolitan Government through the Department of Water and Sewer Services and Lightwave Renewables, LLC, for the design, construction, operation, management, and administration services related to photovoltaic solar facilities located at Central Wastewater Treatment Plant, Whites Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, and Omaha Water Treatment Plant. BL 2021-878, that's item number 47. Toombs, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance approving a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Department of Water and Sewer Services and Regent Homes, LLC, to provide public sewer service improvements for Regent's proposed development, as well as other existing properties in the area. BL 2021-880, that's item number 49, Van Reese, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new sanitary sewer mains, manholes, and easements for two properties located at 1101 Chadwell Drive and Chadwell Drive unnumbered. Bill 2021-881 by Bradford, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing water main and easements, relocate existing fire hydrant assembly, accept new water main and easements property located at 1 Terminal Drive, also known as B&A Garage B, Phase 1. Bill 2021-882, Hancock, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept new sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, 7 properties located on Rio Vista Drive. Bill 2021-883, Sledge, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept new sanitary sewer main and the sanitary sewer manhole property located at 2176 B Carson Street. And that's it. Those are the bills on the second reading consent calendar. Anything need to come off of that one? All right. We've got committee reports. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval of Bill 2021-871, 871, 873, 877, and 878, 10-4-0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee met, and we considered items BL 2021-873, 875, 876, 878, 880, 881, 882, and 883. And we recommended approval of each of these items, 14 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Withers. Councilmember Nash, you're recognized for Public Works.
Public Works took up Bill number 2021-873, 874, 875, 876, 877, 878, 880, 881, 882, 883, and all were recommended for approval, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. And Councilmember O'Connell, you got the last two.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had BL 2021-874. We voted, oh, that's not on consent. Sorry.
875.
We had 875 and 876. In both cases, we voted 4 in favor, 0 against, to recommend approval.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the second reading consent calendar?
So moved.
Got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion on the second reading consent calendar? Seeing none, all those in favor of the second reading consent calendar say aye. Opposed, no. Second reading consent agenda calendar is adopted. Now we're on bills that were not on consent. This goes back to page 11 of my calendar. It's the first one up. Under bills on second reading, it's items 34 and items 35. This is BL 2021-654 and 655 by Councilmember Rosenberg. 54 is an ordinance amendment Title 17 by changing from RM2 RS40 property located at 6000 River Valley Drive, southeast corner of River Valley Drive and Newsom Station Road, located within a planned unit development overlay. And 655, ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of Riverwalk Planned Unit Development District located at 6000 River Valley Drive, southeast corner of River Valley Drive and Newsom Station Road. This is approved for 61 multifamily dwelling units. Councilmember Mendez has to be listed as abstaining on both these. Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized on the two.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee report, please.
Committee report, Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee considered both of these items and recommended a one meeting deferral, 14 in favor, 0 against.
All right, so back to you, Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to defer this until the first meeting in December, please, both bills.
First meeting in December, but you're defeating your string of one meeting deferrals. You sure?
I know, it's tragic, but I'm trying something new.
All right, so you want both of them deferred to the first meeting in December. I got a motion, proper second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to the first meeting in December say aye. Opposed, no. And one deferral from Council, one abstention from Councilmember Mendez on both these. Both these bills will be deferred until the first meeting in December. We are now on item 37. This is Bill 2021-866 by Parker, Evans, and Sawara. Ordinance amending Chapter 11.12 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to prohibit passengers in a motor vehicle from consuming or possessing an alcoholic beverage or beer during the operation of the vehicle. Councilmember Parker, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. Public Safety, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety considered 866 and recommended a 2-meeting deferral at the request of the sponsor, 10 in favor, 0 against.
All right, back to you, Councilmember Parker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for that 2-meeting deferral with a brief explanation.
All right, got a motion to defer 2 meetings. Properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So, colleagues, this bill was drafted in an attempt to address a number of issues, including, littering, the prevalence of the recent prevalence and uptick in road rage incidents that we're unfortunately seeing across Davidson County and the nation. But it also has drawn much media attention for the impact it would have on the transportainment vehicles that have become quite prevalent in downtown and adjacent areas of town. For that aspect of it, another regulatory approach has sort of emerged as a pathway for us to potentially go down. And as those conversations have continued to develop with metro officials, with state officials, with industry stakeholders, I think it's appropriate to defer this to the second meeting in October for now. So I'm happy to answer any questions. But with that, I'll renew the motion to defer 2 meetings.
All right, so Councilmember Park has renewed his motion, deferral for 2 meetings. It'll go to the second meeting in October. It's properly seconded. Any other discussion on this one? Seeing none, we're ready to vote on the deferral motion. All those in favor of the 2-meeting deferral say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. We're on BL 2021-867 by Councilmember O'Connell, Cash, and Evans. This is an ordinance to amend Section 12.40.190 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding night parking restrictions. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports, please.
All right, Codes, Fair, and Farmers Market. Councilmember Cash.
Thanks. We voted 7 in favor, 0 against to defer one meeting and refer to, we said the Transportation Committee, because like next meeting, committees will be different. I guess we kind of felt that it wasn't appropriate for our committee because it's dealing with the public right-of-way. And I think Councilman O'Connell will speak to that more.
All right, so this referral, this is, assuming it gets deferred, it would be referred not to Codes because Codes won't be anymore. Right. The Codes Committee essentially becomes government operations.
Right.
Yeah. You want to send it there?
I think they just want to send it to Transportation.
Or you can send it to the new, sort of the new Transportation Committee. Okay. All right, so we'll just, we'll say to the Transportation Committee. Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Public Works considered it and recommended a one meeting deferral, 8 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, where do you want to send your bill?
Thank you, Mr. President. So this, obviously from a timing perspective, this was a little confusing to walk into the Codes Committee where we didn't think that there was much of a jurisdictional reason for it to be there. So we're going to follow up. But I think ultimately this bill probably is most appropriately heard in what will be the upcoming Transportation Committee because it is about public right-of-way. We don't think the Codes Department is very likely to have any enforcement interest or authority, and that either the Nashville Department of Transportation or possibly MNPD would be more likely to be engaged here. We did still generate some good questions in the committee discussion, and so I think the one meeting deferral is actually appropriate, and I would like to move to defer one meeting and refer then to the Transportation Committee.
Okay, you've heard the motion properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion to defer and send to our new Transportation Committee? Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor of the one meeting deferral, say aye. Opposed, no. That bill is deferred one meeting. We're on item number 39. This is Bill 2021-870 by Councilmember Toombs and Gamble. This is an ordinance approving a documentary film agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Eureka Entertainment, LLC. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
All right, let's go to Convention, Tourism, and Public Entertainment. Councilmember Van Rees.
Yes, Vice Mayor, the committee met with a full quorum. However, the sponsor nor a letter was present, so we deferred by rule.
Okay. All right, Public Safety, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. And Councilmember Toombs, you got a Budget and Finance
Budget
Committee.
and Finance voted to recommend approval, 9-4-0 against.
Okay, don't we have to defer by rule?
Was it deferred by convention?
Yeah.
Yeah, deferred by rule.
All right, so right now you've got Budget and Finance approving it, but you've got a deferral by rule at a convention, so it has to be deferred by rule. All right, so it's deferred one meeting. Okay. Councilor Mendez? Oops, sorry.
Is that something we can move to suspend the rules to get around or no?
You can, it's just you got a committee that deferred by rule, which is a typical one meeting deferral.
I know, but I'm sure somebody else is going to say this, but I mean, there's a whole long story behind this that makes it time sensitive, and I can make the motion to suspend the rules and provide the long story if.
I don't know if we want a long story. Some of us know about this one. What do you think, Councilmember Toombs? You want to suspend the rules, or do you want Councilmember Mendez to do it?
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Let me go this way. Councilmember Mendez, do you want to suspend the rules to see if we can?
That committee would get rolled into budget next time. I mean, no? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yeah.
So the question was from the clerk, the convention and tourism, and public, it goes away after this and gets rolled into budget. So I don't know where you refer it to.
Well,
why don't we go to you and go ahead and make your motion
it might make sense to suspend the rules in that case.
Yeah, to suspend the rules.
I will make a motion to suspend the rules.
All right, so Councilmember Mendez has moved to suspend the rules. Here's what we're doing. By rules, because there was no letter and it didn't, nobody came to convention, tourism, and public entertainment, it got deferred by rule. Typically, we would just send it on for one meeting. There may be a need for a hurry on this one, but also the convention committee goes away, so we don't have any place to send it. So Councilmember Mendez has moved to suspend the rules to go ahead and let us pass it on second reading, correct?
Correct.
All right. So any objection to suspension of the rules? All right, so I've got hands, is that a suspension? Objection? Councilmember Glover?
Mine was just really a point of order, because if it was deferred by rule, I didn't realize that we could have conversations. So I was just going to ask our director if we can. I mean, if we can do it, that's fine. But it was my understanding under our rule, if it's deferred by rule, then it's deferred.
Yeah, I think the question is you can suspend all the rules by just
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my point of order question. Thank you.
All right, and I've got Councilmember Councilmember Gamble is recognized.
Of the legislation.
Oh, you want to speak on the legislation? Okay, got it. Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Is there any objection to suspension of the rules to get this so we can go ahead and consider it on second reading? Seeing no objection, rules are suspended, so we keep going. Okay, thank you, Councilmember Mendez. So what we've got is, let me go back to Councilmember Toombs for motion to approve on second reading.
Move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval on second reading, properly seconded. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to say that Judge Sheila Calloway came to the public safety meeting and talked about this particular agreement that we have with this company that will be shooting a documentary about the progress that we have made in this city with juvenile justice reform and justice reform in general. And this company is working with their own network. This documentary will be representing our city and showing us as a leader in this effort. And they are waiting and ready to get started. So we'd appreciate all of your support in moving this bill forward today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Gamble. Anybody else in the queue? Seeing none, here's where we are. We're on BL 2021-870, item number 39. The motion is to go ahead and approve on second reading. It was properly seconded. Nobody else in the queue. All in favor of BL 2021-870 on second reading, say aye. Opposed, no. Bill passes on second reading. All right. We're on item number 41, BL 2021-872, ordinance to require masks to be worn by all individuals in public spaces, as further described there within the bill. Councilmember Stiles, Hurt, Sepulveda, and others. Councilmember Stiles, you are recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
I've got Health and Hospitals. Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you. Health and Hospital and Social Services move to approve BL 2021-872, 6 in favor, 4 in favor, 2 against.
Okay. All right, back to you, Councilmember Stiles.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So here we are again, 2 weeks later. Our numbers are not improving. In fact, our percentage of new cases since, I'm so sorry.
You can go ahead and move. You can go. Eventually,
I would
catch you and tell you to do
move
it.
for approval with a brief comment. Sorry.
All right. So Councilmember Stiles has moved for approval of BL 2021-872, properly seconded. Back to you.
Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, there's a packet at each of your desks. There's an infographic that shows the percentage of new cases since September 7th. We've gone up 5.1%. We went from 118,920 cases to 124,991. Our deaths are up 3.8%, and the number of confirmed cases since 9/7 is up 5%. I think we continue to see that we are trending in the wrong direction. I understand that there are concerns about overreach in terms of our Department of Health, But I think it's clear that our Department of Health is currently focused on politics and not public safety and public health. We have received numerous emails calling for the indoor mask mandate. We have received emails from medical professionals here in town that are overwhelmed with what they're seeing during their shifts. I think we have businesses, certainly in my district, and I can't speak for anyone else, that have made it clear they would like to institute the indoor mask mandate again, but they would like to be able to say that it was direction from the city, and they feel like they would have more coverage in that way. And I think that if we're asking businesses to enforce it, we should be able to cover them as well. Forgive me. Yes. Since it's fall and we're about to go indoors, we're at full capacity. Last year, we were modified in terms of how many people were in spaces. We were encouraging masks, and our numbers were significantly lower than what they are right now. There was a comment in health and hospitals in regards to our economy and how people are going to go to other counties to eat if we enforce this indoor mask mandate. But the fact of the matter is, if we send all of the residents into indoor spaces with recycled air, if they're sick or if they're dead, they're not going to any businesses anyway. So I think that's something for us to bear in mind. And lastly, it is difficult for us to encourage anyone to do anything if we ourselves can't do it. And certainly, if we are in this building and we know the mayor has asked us all to wear masks, none of us should be telling anyone to take their mask off for any reason. And we all should be demonstrating leadership by having a mask on in our metro building. I just want to encourage people to be leaders. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Okay. We've got people in the queue. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I want to speak as a co-sponsor of this bill. I just think it's so important. You know, people have made this a partisan issue in this country, and that just couldn't be further from the truth. This is about personal responsibility, and we've heard that spoken about many times at the state, at the federal level, and I'm talking about going back to March of 2020. We have talked about personal responsibility. I recall when there was a time that we would go and check on our neighbors and see how they're doing. I recall a time that we wanted to understand and know how people were doing, that we actually cared about people around us, not just about goals, not just about division, not just about what we see behind a screen, but rather we would get out and about and we would talk to one another and find out how we're doing. We're not doing that right now. Instead, we're focused on, if you wear a mask, you're over here. If you don't get a vaccination, you're over here. That is so asinine to the point that we have got to find a way to get through this. My wife, for 2 years, over a year now, has worn a mask to work every day. She has worn goggles at work every day. She's in the healthcare industry. And I can't tell you how sick and tired of that she is. I'm sick and tired of wearing this. We're all fatigued by this. But there's only one way that we're going to get through it, and that is by continuing to take the appropriate precautions. A new tagline I came up with just a few minutes ago was, if you won't get a vax, wear a mask. Okay, maybe it doesn't quite rhyme, but it's close. So, you know, the best medical intervention that we continue to hear from the health department absolutely is right, I know, apparently it's not too funny, but it's kind of funny. The best medical intervention that we've got is the vaccine. In addition to the vaccine, which I've taken, I hope that there's no chance that I can spread this to somebody else. And a mask helps. Dr. Scott Gottlieb on Sunday morning on one of the talk shows, who is a Trump appointee, again, if we want to look at partisan politics, he was a Trump appointee. And he says, I can understand, I've paraphrased, I can understand why people might not want to get a vaccination. That's a personal medical decision. But I don't understand why somebody wouldn't have the common decency to put on a mask and protect one another. When we go and hang out with the people around us and get out from behind the screen, let's do the right thing. Let's wear a mask. And quite frankly, if you're not going to do that in our city, we need to make sure that you will. And for that reason, I support this legislation, and I hope that my colleagues will vote for it as well. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, council member. So next person up.
May I also say, if you don't want a vax, wear a mask.
Councilmember Sepulveda, I'm going to go to Councilmember Sledge. He tried to hit his button early. I'll come right back to you, but his button isn't showing up, and that's why I came up here. Councilmember Sledge.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, and thank you, members for hearing me. I show up as a list of one on my screen, so apologies. I want to make the case in support of this, and I appreciate my colleagues who've spoken before me. I want to make a numbers case and then ask you to consider actions we've taken previously. Right now, as it's been indicated from some of the other speakers, we are at an active case count that is basically at the peak of where we were in the worst wave that we experienced. During those waves, of course, we did have a mask mandate. So right now, we have a very similar situation. Despite having a very effective vaccine, our case count, you would think, if you just looked at the graph and if you just looked at the numbers, you'd think we had no vaccine at all. That's how dire it is. Another number that we don't talk about a lot is what's called the positivity rate. And right now, our positivity rate hovers at 14 to 15%. That's twice the national average, twice. And anything, we've been told over the last year and a half, anything that's over 10 is very, very alarming. It's very concerning. So again, we're in the same situations, the same circumstances. Despite having a life-saving effective vaccine, we're in the same circumstances that we were when we had this mask mandate previously. So the numbers are there. The numbers show the need for this. Now, the thing that struck me from a personal sense is that the people who've been, contacting us over the last few days generally are nurses or medical professionals. And time again in this body, we issued resolutions and we had special conversations and commendations for people who are frontline workers for all that they have done and, quite frankly, are forced to continue to do during this pandemic. And I do not recall an ask of them before now. And their request of us was to institute this mask mandate. And the first thing we did is try to go to health professionals. We tried to go to our Board of Public Health. We tried to go to our health director, and they refused. The health director has said that our hospitals are not at a point of crisis, and I don't know what a point of crisis is if it's not here. And so when our frontline workers, when our medical professionals finally come to us and say, we need this, we've been the ones out here dealing with this, we need this, for us not to do the smallest thing asked of us, which is to vote for this after all other options have been exhausted, I just don't think that's acceptable. If we stand behind what we said when we thank those workers, then we ought to stand behind actions that reflect them. And for that reason, I ask you to support the mandate tonight. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Sledge. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're next.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I stand in support of the mask mandate today. I've been listening to some of the committee members in health and hospitals, and I just wanted to point out a couple of things. One of the arguments against was it disrupts businesses. Well, what disrupts businesses are people getting sick. What disrupts businesses are people dying. What disrupts businesses are workers having to stay home because their children are sick. Another argument I heard was we need to message more. We have been messaging for over a year now, and our numbers are still high. Hospitals are filling up. And yes, we need to keep messaging, but obviously a number of our tourists and some of our neighbors aren't hearing us. When we have a representative and the director of the health department say that they are worried about what the state may or may not do as far as taking away funding, then I don't understand what we're doing here because that's not their job. It becomes harder to trust the recommendation of the health department because I can't trust that they're not seeing it through a political lens. I would like to remind colleagues that several school boards instated a mask mandate, ignoring the state ledge and the governor. And Memphis also just recently instated a mask mandate as well. Why is a mask mandate good enough for our children and Metro employees, but not good enough for the public? You know, several of us here are vaccinated, but when hospitals are full, that's our problem as well. If one of your relatives has a heart attack and there's not enough beds, that's your problem. If your children get sick and there's not enough beds, that's your problem. If someone in your family, you know, needs to go in for a cancer screening and you know, later on they're not doing elective procedures like they were doing for some time, that's your problem as well. So I would encourage you to think hard, because we have had doctors and nurses asking us for this. Southeast had one of the worst numbers throughout the pandemic and continues to have that. I can't tell you how many times some of my colleagues around me, we have gone to grocery stores and just handed out masks. We have been working hard, and we have had battles with the health department behind closed doors to make sure that we don't get to the same place we were before. And I do not want to go through that again. I cannot go through that again. We are the worst state in the nation, and that cannot be on us. So I would encourage you to vote for this mask mandate.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. For me, considering this issue, we have spent maybe an unusual amount of energy on a mitigation that has limited efficacy at best, right? If we think about the entire tool set here and what we know about public health data, the vaccine is the most powerful tool. After that, the combination of ventilation improvements and surveillance are really the next most powerful tools, and we are not really maxing out our efforts there on a citywide basis. And I think for me, I'd still love to put more energy into understanding the plan for increasing our vaccination rates, understanding the plan for improving ventilation, particularly in our schools and public buildings, and really changing everybody's air and understanding on a more system-wide basis. Part of the reason we see high positivity rates is because we have had historically better test availability in Tennessee than most other parts of the country. That's actually a good thing to understand how our community is faring. But as school opened back up, we struggled to even get to the same testing capacity we had last year when we didn't have a variant of the virus that was as impactful to kids. I think, too, if I look at what happened last year, when I heard countless stories, and in fact, our first arrest and citation was for a person of color who was unhoused. This still runs the risk of inequitable enforcement that we saw last year. Last year's mask mandate was hard to characterize as a success. It existed. It probably increased the number of people wearing masks at the margins, but ultimately, wearing a mask and the defiance that we've seen, there's an extraordinarily high social cost we face when we try to do this, including putting people on the front lines for enforcing it, where we do see people yelling and fighting, and really ultimately for the process of something that is an imperfect intervention. I think fundamentally, I'm not going to encourage anybody to vote against this because I understand how important it is to some people. But I think in keeping in perspective the power of the tools, the final point I'll make is it is great and important for everybody in this body to both reflect the will of their constituents and their own views on the issues of the day. But I don't think we want to necessarily step in front of our health department. I've heard of lack of trust, but we do have an appointed board, and it's worth continuing to have those conversations. I don't want to have our council making a recommendation that the health department is not recommending as a public health measure, and I think that's the thing we run the risk of here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember Young.
Previous question.
Councilmember Young has called a previous question. So we're not voting on the measure, we're voting just on the previous question. All those in favor of the previous question say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? I think the previous question prevails, but yeah, to be on the safe side, I think we go on the board. Okay? All right. There you are, Madam Clerk. So it's a previous question requires 2/3 of the people voting. Is that right? So previous question requires 2/3 of those voting. Madam Clerk, tell me when you're ready. So we're not voting again. We're not voting on the ordinance. We're voting just on the previous question. Are you ready? Okay, voting on the previous question, Madam Clerk, open the machines. If you want to vote right now, you vote yes. If you want to have more debate, you'd vote no. All right, so a motion for the previous question requires approval by 2/3 of the total votes cast to prevail. Madam Clerk, close the machine, take the vote. 313. So I think it's going to fail. 14. So we have our calculator out. It fails. The previous question fails, so we're still on debate. Okay, next person in line is Councilmember Swope. You're recognized.
I was going to call a previous question, but it's kind of a redundant point now, so I'll just pass because I think everybody knows what my.
Oh, sorry. Thought you were finished. Okay. Councilmember Welsh, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I am one who agrees with my colleague, Councilmember, what's your name again? O'Connell. I do not feel like our last mask mandate was very, very successful. However, I do understand the good things that masks do and how they do, in fact, mitigate disease. But the fact of the matter is that public health interventions rarely are very successful if they don't have any type of enforcement mechanism. And our problem here is there is no real enforcement mechanism. Tonight, representatives from MNPD told us that because this would be coming from the Metro Council, the most that they can do to issue any type of citation is a civil citation, and that is only if the person in violation gives them the information about them so that they can actually write that citation. Without an enforcement mechanism, we're really not going to get anywhere. I think it's a great thing. We have a mask mandate in schools. We have a mask mandate here in all Metro public buildings. And now we basically have mask mandates and vaccine mandates in public businesses, and they are using that tool to force people in compliance, and that is the way we are going to get rid of COVID. We have seen, since a lot of these businesses have said, if you want to go to a concert, you need to be masked or have a vaccine. If you want to go somewhere, you have to do that. We have seen our vaccine rate go up to now this week. It is at 60.1%. That is a huge, huge jump. I think that there's a difference between government policy and community buy-in. And one of the things that we have lacked in messaging about COVID from the federal level on down is getting the community buy-in. I think the messaging is bad. It's not education, it's messaging. We need to make masks sexy again. We need to have people who are going to model masking behavior because we know the power of social pressure to get people to change their social behaviors. We're just not going to be successful without that if we can't enforce this mask mandate. I talked to Mr. Gilmore from MNPD in the Health and Hospital meeting and asked him what they did last summer during our mask mandate, and he said they enforced basically 3 days a week all downtown. Pretty much all of the enforcement was downtown, and they issued very few citations and very few arrests except for that one unhoused gentleman who went to jail. They weren't doing this throughout the city and actually issuing citations. It was a very limited area. So we need to, I don't think we should be spending our capital trying to enforce something that is unenforceable, that science says is right now is not the best thing to do. I think we need to be spending our time and energy pushing vaccines, using social pressure, changing our messaging, and getting other businesses to take that lead and encouraging those businesses to use that tool that they had to force the changes in behavior, because we have seen that that works here in Nashville. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Welsh. Councilmember Saguaro.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to speak in support of the bill. And I think that it's important for us to note that I heard what everybody is saying. Yes, vaccination is the right thing to do, it's what we want.
But until we get to that high vaccination rate, I think what the mask is doing is helping us mitigate the spread of this disease. People talk about some businesses are using it already and saying get vaccinated or have a mask on. Yes, they're doing it, and that's great, and that's what we want to encourage. But there are some other businesses that wants to do it, but they're worried that without a mandate, they will not be able to do it. And so how do we make sure that we stop the spread of this thing? If we keep letting people do what they need to do, I think it will just continue to spread. So the mask, I'm not saying let's stop the vaccination. We should keep encouraging that. That's the main solution. But having the mask will mitigate it. It will help it. For those that are not doing it already, it's an encouragement also from us, telling everybody what to do. It also, like I think one of the council members says, we're doing it within our building. We're asking our children to do it. But that is not enough. People keep dying, and the rate is very high. And we get people in the hospital telling you, my family is in healthcare, and they'll tell you that the hospitals are full. And so I worry about what's happening and what will keep on happening. And so saying that that's not the best solution, but let's not do anything at all, or let's wait until it's sexy before we do something, I don't want to subscribe to that. I think doing something is better than doing nothing. And I think what the mask will do will help mitigate, in a small way, while we're also pushing for the vaccine. So with that, I hope everybody will support this. And I want to, something that Councilmember Stiles says that I read today that actually speaks to me as we're talking about this. It's in the letter that she sends. And it says, whereas Section 2.014 of the Metropolitan Charter authorizes the Metropolitan Council to pass all ordinances necessary for the health, convenience, safety, and general welfare of the inhabitants, and to carry out the full intent and meaning of the Charter. So to say that it's not our responsibility or we're stepping forward, I think this clearly says that it's not. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Rosenberg?
Previous question.
All right, so we're going to vote again on the previous question. Again, not voting on the ordinance, but just on the previous question. Madam Clerk, again, this is going to take a motion for previous question requires approval by 2/3 of the total votes cast. We have our calculator. The last time I calculated it was 62%. So it's pretty close. It has to be 67%. 66, but whatever, 60. What? Yeah, so if it says it fails, it's just listing failed, but we're multiplying it out. Yeah, we're all checking it, okay? All right, so we're just voting on the previous question, not on the ordinance. All those in favor of the previous question will vote aye. No, I'm just telling you, we're going to open up the machines. So if you're for the previous question, you'll vote aye or yes on the thing. If you're not for it and you want to continue to debate, you vote no. Madam Clerk, open up the machines. Councilmember Druffel, we are voting on the previous question. Okay. Councilmember Young, quit throwing things. Yeah. Councilmember Suara, quit throwing things. All right, all votes are in. Madam Clerk, close machines, take the vote. That looks more like it. Do you want to multiply it out just to be on the shore? It at 27 is what we needed anyway. So, you sure you don't want to multiply it? Our last director had trouble with this one, so a previous question prevails. We're on the bill. Remember, we're on second reading. Let's make sure we know where we are. This is. Where is it, if I can find it? This is Bill 2021-872, ordinance to require masks be worn by all individuals in public spaces. The motion is to approve on second reading. You are voting on that. We're voting on the bill on second reading. So if you're, I think we need to go machine. All right, so if you're in favor of 872, you'll vote yes. If you're against it, you'll vote no. Madam Clerk, are you ready? Okay, for passage on second reading just requires a simple majority. Okay, we're ready. Again, if you're for the bill on second reading, you vote yes. If you're against it, you'll vote no. Madam Clerk, open up the machines. All votes are in. Madam Clerk, close machines, take the vote. Well, so we don't do that in this chamber. We don't clap on those bills. So the bill passes, 21 yes, no's 12, 4 abstentions. Okay, so it passes on second reading. We move on. We're on BL 2021-874 by Councilmember O'Connell, Toombs, and others. This is an ordinance authorizing the conditional abandonment of a portion of Alley 371, approving the acquisition of an interest in certain real property and improvements thereon, comprising a new alley and the granting of an easement above that new alley in connection with the development of a project in Nashville. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Sorry about that. Committee reports, please.
There's a bunch of them. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning met and considered this item and recommended approval, 14 in favor, 0 against.
Public Works, Councilmember Nash. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. There you go.
I had it down for a one meeting deferral, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and let me see what else I've got. I think Traffic and Parking is the last one, Councilmember O'Connell.
We were 4 in favor, 0 against for a one meeting deferral, and I'd like to move for a one meeting deferral with a brief comment.
Okay, so you got a motion to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Is that enough time with Traffic and Parking? Okay. All right, Councilmember O'Connell, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We got advised by legal counsel that we had to do this because we need to let the Traffic and Parking Commission recommendation catch up, so they will be able to do that in time for third reading, and a one meeting deferral is sufficient to give them that time. So there we are. I'd like to renew my motion.
That is correct. The motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to defer one meeting, say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Let's see. We're on item number 48, Bill 2021-879 by Councilmember Toombs, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metropolitan Department of Water and Sewer Services and Piedmont Natural Gas. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Pardon me, Mr. Vice Mayor, where are we?
Bill 2021-879, item 48.
Thank you. Committee report.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. It looks like the Planning and Zoning Committee voted in favor of a one meeting deferral, 14 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Public Works has also recommended a one meeting deferral, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs, you got the last report.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against.
All right, Councilmember Toombs, what do you want to do with your bill?
I was not aware of the request for the one meeting deferral before this was put on consent for Budget and Finance. I don't know the rationale behind wanting it. So I'm going to move for approval. I'm sorry. Move for one meeting deferral.
All right, there you go. Simply took an explanation. So the question is to move for a deferral for one meeting, properly seconded. Councilmember Henderson, do you need to tell the rest of us, or are you good? All right. So the motion is to defer one meeting, again, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the deferral motion for one meeting say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is deferred one meeting. Last bill on second reading, Bill 2021-884 by Councilmember Murphy and Nash. This is item number 53. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing sanitary sewer main, manhole easements, and to accept new sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located on 4005 Utah Avenue. Councilmember Nash, I think this is yours now. Okay, you're the second person on the bill.
Committee reports.
All right, Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee met and recommended a one-meeting deferral, 14 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and Councilmember Nash, you've got the other committee report.
Public Works moved for a one-meeting deferral, 7 in favor, 0 against, and I would make such a motion.
All right, so the motion is to defer one meeting, BL 2021-884. Motion to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Bill is deferred one meeting. That takes us through the end of second reading. We are now on bills on third reading. There is a consent calendar. I'll go through that. BL 2021-793 by Councilmember Withers is on consent. 840 is on consent. 855 is on consent. 856 is on consent. 858 on consent. 861 on consent. 864 on consent. And 865 on consent. Anything needs to be bumped off of there? Let me go over those again real quick. 793, 840, 855, 856, 858, 861, 864, and 865. Anything needs to be bumped off a consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go through those bills that are on consent. Bill 2021-793 by Councilmember Withers, ordinance amending section 13.08.030, the Metropolitan Code with respect to liability insurance coverage requirements in connection with certain public rights-of-way encroachments. Bill 2021-840 by Councilmember Taylor, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning on property located at 706 26th Avenue North, approximately 175 feet north of Clifton Avenue. BL 2021-855 by Councilmember Benedict, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by applying a contextual overlay district various properties located along a portion of Preston Drive, Sheridan Road, and Harwood Drive, approximately 200 feet south of Porter Drive. BL 2021-856 by Councilmember Withers, ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying a contextual overlay district to various properties located approximately 150 feet south of Eastland Avenue and 150 feet north of Fortland Drive, along Brittany Court, Brittany Drive, and Barclay Drive. BL 2021-858 by Councilmember Swope, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SPMU to R15 zoning for property located at 401 Kenhawk Drive, southwest corner of Kenhawk Drive and Nolensville Pike. BL 2021-861 by Councilmember Taylor, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at Booker Street, unnumbered, approximately 410 feet east of 25th Avenue North, 0.22 acres. BL 2021-864 by Councilmember Syracuse, Mendes, and others. Ordinance amending Metropolitan Code Chapters 5.20 regarding the abatement of property taxes for certain improvements or restorations made to historic properties authorized under the provisions of Tennessee Code Annotated Section 67-5-218. And Bill 2021-865 by Gamble, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing Metropolitan Government to abandon existing public water main and easements, except new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3517 Brick Church Pike, also known as Mulberry Downs Phase 2. Those are the bills on third reading consent. Anything needs to be bumped off? Seeing none, we only have one committee reporting in. That's you, Councilmember Withers. You're recognized on bills on third reading consent.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee met and considered these items, and we recommended approval of items BL 2021-840, 855, 856, 858, 861, Each of those we recommended in favor, 14 in favor, 0 against.
All right. With that, Councilmember Withers, can you give me a motion to approve on bills
I
on
move
third reading
approval of the
consent?
consent agenda.
Councilmember Withers has moved bills on third reading consent, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of bills on third reading consent say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right. So now we're back on bills that are not on consent. We're on third reading. Item number 55, Bill 2021-811 by Councilmember Roberts. This is a disapproved bill, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from R6 to RM9 for properties located at 5607, 5607B, 5609, 5611 Morrow Road, approximately 60 feet southeast of 57th Avenue North, 2.46 acres. Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Okay, I got Councilmember Withers, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. This one, the Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee met, and we recommended approval, 14 in favor, 1 against.
All right, and Parks and Library, Councilmember Van Rees.
In some strange twist of fate, the Parks and Library Committee met on this and voted 4 in favor, 0 against.
That's a very strange twist of fate. Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. You know, I think I probably should defer this indefinitely. Kidding. 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 I'd like to move for approval.
So the motion is to approve. I got a proper second. It does require 27 votes. How many people we have in here? We got 27. We have enough people here? Do you need to go on the board? All right, we're just making sure. So we're going to go on the board, okay? Because we got to have 27 votes. So again, you got to have 27 votes to approve this. Councilmember Roberts has moved for approval on third and final reading. This is a disapproved bill. It needs 27 votes. Madam Clerk, tell me when you're ready. The clerk is ready. We are voting on BL 2021-811 for passage on third and final reading. If you're for the bill, you vote yes. If you're against it, you'll vote no. Madam Clerk, open up the machines. All votes are in. Madam Clerk, close the machines, take the vote. Ayes 33, no 0, 1 abstention. Bill passes on third and final reading, okay? We're on item number 60, Bill 2021-860 by Councilmember Sepulveda. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS to MULA zoning for various properties located along Largo Drive, Wallace Road, and Linbar Drive, southeast corner of Linbar Drive and Harding Place, 15.78 acres. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I need to move the substitute.
All right, so Councilmember Sepulveda has the substitute ordinance. The motion is to approve. Let's get a committee report first. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee met and recommended approval, 14 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. As substituted, or do you remember?
Yes, as substituted.
As substituted. Okay, Councilmember Sepulveda has a substitute ordinance. She's moved to approve it. Properly second. Back to you for an explanation of the substitute ordinance.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So the substitute basically adds a SP restricting specific uses for that area, which are automobile parking, bar, nightclub, beer, cigarette market, warehouse. We're trying to change and our district and the businesses we're attracting. So that's what the substitute is doing.
Okay, so you've heard the explanation of the substitute. Councilmember Sepulveda has moved it, properly seconded. Any discussions on the substitute? Seeing none, we're voting on the substitute. All those in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're on your bill as substituted.
Move the bill as substituted.
All right, so Councilmember Sepulveda has moved Bill 2021-860 as substituted for passage on third and final reading, properly seconded. Discussion on the bill. Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the bill as substituted for third and final reading for passage, say aye. Opposed, no. The bill passes on third and final reading. All right, we're on BL 2021-862 by Councilmember O'Connell. Ordinance been Title 17 by changing from Audit SP zoning for properties located at 1212, 1300, 1302, 1304 Herman Street and Herman Street unnumbered portion of 907 12th Avenue North at the northwest corner of Herman Street and 12th Avenue North, 1.79 acres. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports, please.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers. We're on item number 62, BL 2021-862.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee met, and we had a fair amount of discussion on this item and ended up recommending a one meeting deferral, 15 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember O'Connell, what do you want to do?
Thank you, Mr. President. We may be able to take this one and the next item together as they're basically adjacent.
Any objection to that? It's BL 2021-863. It's item number 63. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IR to SP zoning for property located at 1301 Herman Street, southwest corner of Herman Street and 12th Avenue North. It's 2.11 acres.
We can get committee report on that as well.
Councilmember Withers, report on this one.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Similarly, the Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee recommended a one meeting deferral, 15 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move for a one meeting deferral with a brief explanation.
All right, so I've got a motion to defer both these bills, 862 and 863, one meeting, properly seconded. Back to you, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Still, we had made contact with the woman who spoke at public hearing and just looking for a little more time to try to get together with the project team and her and any other folks who want to come to that meeting. So just, I think another meeting should give us enough time to coordinate that. So with colleague support, I'd like to renew my motion.
All right, so the motion is to defer both 862 and 863 one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the one meeting deferral say aye. Opposed, no. Both bills are deferred one meeting. I am checking. I believe that's it. Oh, hold on just a minute. I believe that's it. We've gone through the agenda. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I just wanted to thank on behalf of the LGBTQ caucus, the generous gift of the Nashville Tree Foundation. There is now a tree with a plaque honoring our formation in the public plaza. So when it's not raining, you guys can go see it. But on behalf of the 5 of us, thank you, Nashville Tree Foundation, for the generous honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Van Rees. I want a motion to adjourn. I got a motion, proper second. All in favor say aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned.
40-minute meeting tonight, 25-page agenda, about 75 things on the agenda to look at. Perhaps the most important thing the council voted on tonight was approval on second reading of a bill by a vote of 21-12 with 4 abstentions to require a mask mandate, wearing masks in all public places. That was on second reading. It'll take 21 votes, all 21 votes that it had tonight, or pick up some other votes if it loses some in order to keep 21 votes to pass it on third and final reading. It's quite a debate tonight. One of the major sponsors, Council Lady Stiles, basically accused the health department, which is not supporting this right now, feeling we need to concentrate more on vaccinations than on a mask. She accused them of playing politics, not public safety in doing this. Others on the council, others said the city would be better off to focus on vaccinations, also perhaps do more about air circulation. There's a lot of concerns also about how this would be enforced one way or the other. That was a problem they thought last time we had a mask mandate briefly. Almost no one was arrested and very few were cited for the problem, and the enforcement was pretty sporadic, they felt. So again, there are already some predictions from the council who already said this on social media that they believe if the decline they think they're beginning to see in our COVID numbers continues over the next 2 weeks, the bill won't get 21 votes on third and final reading. But others tonight said that our numbers are worse now than they ever had been. They're getting a lot of calls, particularly from frontline health department, health officials across the city, that we need to do something about this. And the council right now, again, on second reading, voted 21-12 with 4 abstentions in favor of, on second reading, of a mask mandate for the people in Davidson County. Another controversy that council decided not to take up tonight was what to do in terms of regulation of the tourist transportation vehicles downtown. One bill on the second reading would have particularly regulated the ability, or it would ban the ability for anyone to have alcohol or beer on one of those vehicles when it was moving downtown. There was another bill more comprehensive in terms of reforming the city board that oversees this. Was on first reading. It passed on first reading tonight. The bill on second reading was deferred, so both of them will be coming up for the council to consider at the same time at the next meeting that the council has on October the 5th. Council also deferred a request, a resolution to authorize a cost and feasibility study for Metro to take over the maintenance of all state routes in Davidson County. That includes litter pickup and grass mowing as well. Supporters believe this will better streamline services, but the rest of the council, at least through the committee tonight, decided they wanted to look at that for another 2 weeks before they take any action on the resolution. Another study tonight, several other grants were approved by the council tonight. The council accepted a $50,000 grant from the Community Foundation to allow a nonprofit group to develop recommendations on feasible climate change restraints that Metro can implement within its operating and capital budget limitations. Approved 2 resolutions to approve $1.3 billion in water sewer revenue bonds for future capital projects and other improvements from the system, including meeting a federal agreement that the city has about improving the system under environmental rules. Other resolutions, they approved $7.8 million in American Rescue Funds, including $4.7 million for the fire department to purchase the vehicles and equipment, $3.1 million for the city's Office of Family Safety to address increased demands for therapy and other services for victims of abuse, human trafficking, and interpersonal violence. Council also approved $100,000 for the Metro Police Department, a grant they'd received for internet crimes against children for their unit to prevent, and respond to the coronavirus. There's also a local match for $112,000 grant for the port security grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for equipment for the city's emergency management agency to enhance its current land and maritime-based response capabilities. Council also approved memorializing resolutions honoring the civil rights icon, the late Rip Patton, and the longtime Nashville radio and media personality, Connie Dickerson. Council also deferred a resolution tonight that would have honored Judge Bill Higgins for his 50 years of service. Sponsor was not here, so that bill will be taken up. By the way, Judge Higgins will be also honored for his service here at the council back before he was on the bench. Council also approved a resolution to honor Vanderbilt's assistant associate coach in bowling, Josie Urs Barnes, for winning the U.S. Open in bowling on a national level. I think got $100,000 as a winner to do that. That's the biggest purse any woman's ever gotten in professional bowling. Also, the council on a late resolution approved a Hispanic Heritage Month, recognizing it here in Nashville, running from this month through the middle of October. Council is now in recess until October 5th on that Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month. We'll be here at that time to provide live coverage. Until then, I'm Pat Nolan, and good night from the council chambers. Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council has come to you live from the council chambers at the historic Metro Courthouse. It's been a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.